Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. So I'm Miss Grates, and I have my phone because my speech is up here. I'm the Dean of Diversity and Inclusion, just so that for those who don't know. And one of my main roles is to make sure that I help these Monday morning meetings be interesting and engaging for you. And so on Friday, when I got to my office and Ms. Soper came in and said that an alum from the class of 1968 reached out to say that there was this fantastic woman who had a story to tell, and she was hiking the Appalachian Trail. And the unique thing about her, not as if that's not awesome enough, she is an amputee. So she will tell her story. She's going to tell her story about what it's like for her to be out on the Appalachian Trail and all the other fantastic things that she's done in her short life here on Earth. Before we introduce Ms. NikiRellon, however, I thought it would also make total sense for us to also share the story of the two amputees that we have in our community. So first we're going to watch a video that tells Incha's story, and then it's kind of what it's like for her as a student. And then Ms. Satchel's story, we'll see her story, and then we'll bring up NikiRellon, and she'll tell we'll see a video about what the work she's been doing, and then she'll go through a slide presentation, and then we'll have time for questions in the end. You can ask questions of all three of our guests. Is that okay? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Mr. Riva. So, hopefully you know that Incha is our student of the month. And at 6 years old, she lost her leg in an earthquake in Pakistan.
I'm learning to go through gates because I've actually never raced before, so that's my biggest goal, and also like still having speed when I'm turning through those gates and control. I just met new friends, and then now they're great friends. I just like know them for a couple of days, but they're all great, like Sam. I want to be more competitive, so I want to make it to Paralympics and then try for the Olympics. Oh, I couldn't do any of the other sports in school because of my crutches, so my babysitter's husband, Jay, who's now my coach, said that he'll take me skiing, and that's how I really got started. And I actually didn't like skiing at first because it was so hard, but after about 3 times, I loved it. I think they did a great job. It's amazing. It's a really good experience for the kids like us. So I really love it, and hopefully I'll be here next year too.
So that's Incha as a baby. She was in middle school learning how to ski. So there was a fundraiser to help Incha with her skiing and her expenses. We got all this is when she was younger, and she's much better on her skis now. That's her family. That's her adopted dad, his host dad. And these are pictures from Pakistan, right? Mm-hmm. His brother. More family. You think it's your turn?
I think so. Okay, so before we start this video, I'm Miss Satchel, I work in KCL, live in Stanley, go Stanley. I miss my math girls, but I also coach varsity soccer and varsity lacrosse. The sequence, all the pictures are in order. I'm going to start from my Howard experience to January and to where I am now. So I'm going to be speaking. There's a couple funny videos. So yeah, let's start it.
Is your mic on, or you want to come stand
No,
over here?
I mean, can you hear me, freshman?
No.
Okay.
See, they're honest. Good job, freshman. Come over here, Miss Satchel.
But I want this one.
I know you do. And we want a mountain day, I'm just saying.
Okay. So this is a cute picture of me. Two legs, two like non-ball legs. You can laugh, it's funny. Okay. So I went to Howard University, it's in DC, graduated with a BS in sports management, minor in psychology, and I am a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, which is a part of the Non-Divine Nine Black Greek organizations on campus. Go me. And then I played Division I lacrosse at Howard. I started as a defender, went to midfield, got some all-conference recognition for academic honors, as well as my performances on the field. That girl thought she was going to score, and she didn't. And that's, you know, me being a trail in defense. So this is me last year at the alumni game with some alums. Yes, Black people do play lacrosse in numbers. Okay, so then as a graduation present, my mom, it's funny. My mom, we went to Columbia, Cartagena, and as a challenge, if you can see like the farthest point all the way at the very top corner, that's where I ran from. And then I challenged myself to like do things. Mind you, it's 90 degrees, it is hot. Okay, I am sleeping through everything. Before this, this is a random guy that I met. Mind you, I cannot speak Spanish, and I trusted him with my phone to record this. And this piece of wood, I just wanted to do random things. It was actually pretty heavy. So this is the car accident, January 2015. If you see in the upper right-hand corner, you can see the left side tire in the driving seat. My leg was pinned between the front door and the tire. So the interesting thing about this is I last year did a radio show called The Good News. I broke my leg in 3 places, by the way. And that day I said, hey guys, just want you to know, I think God is gonna do something really big, something awesome, something out of this world. In less than 24 hours, I had a car accident, which is kind of weird. Not weird, but interesting. I look crazy, but from the car accident, I had a concussion, broke my nose, and broke my leg in 3 places. And this is a video of me. You can turn the volume up. That was me standing for the very first time in February. Yep, February 1st, I think. So this is me in the hospital, one of my favorite pictures, and the t-shirt reads, when it comes up, you aren't losing to a girl, you're getting beat by a champion. So this is after the amputation. It took 3 surgeries to complete my amputation. And this is me a day after the amputation. Champs always raise their hands when they win, and that was like a common theme. I remember going into the operating room, and I was sedated, but I mean like drugged. And I was like, I'm a champ, I'm a champ, I'm a champ. And it was like I was waving at the imaginary people in the parade for some reason I thought there was a parade for me going into the surgery.
Hey, she's leaving.
And this is when I was leaving the hospital.
Let me out. It's time to go home. Champ is leaving.
The champ is leaving. Hurrah.
Okay. You sagging, Sid?
Nope.
Calm down.
That was like my chrome-mobile. All throughout this process, I mean, as a Division I athlete and someone very competitive, it was hard for someone to tell me that I may not run again. I may have a significant limp. Okay, I'm singing.
I want the world to know.
So, thank you for all the people who came to visit me throughout the hospital. It was great. And here's another video of me coming out of the hospital.
It's me. I'm the champ. I'm the champ. I'm the champ. I'm out in the real world, people. It's cold. Shut the door. Absolutely.
So this is me on my first day of rehab. It was a lot of tough. I do rehab twice a week. This is me, my first time going home in 2 months. I spent 2 months in the hospitals, 8 surgeries, amputation. I had an infection. It was a MRSA scare. If you don't know what MRSA is, it's the infection that a lot of people get in the hospital, and about 35% of people who get MRSA, actually 25, they die. So it's actually amazing. I'm standing right here. This is me finally getting my leg, wearing my Muhammad Ali sweatshirt. Everything that I did was on purpose. This was the first day I did single leg squats. Okay, you guys are not getting the intenseness of it. Just imagine a day with just doing things that you have not done before. And this is me getting back to the things that I love, which is coaching. And this is last year. Why am I tearing up right now? When I got to see the girls play. This is Savannah and Simone when I came back to campus that one time for graduation. And thank you.
Anyway, next up, we're going to see Miss NikiRellon's story. So, hit it.
That was in 2002. I was in Rhode Island.
New York. She biked here today, ladies and gentlemen, to see the Rhode Island government in action. So give her a warm welcome.
This was right after my accident. I was back on skis, a prosthetic leg on skis, and it was Cobble Mountain, Colorado. With the steep terrain. Well, first, I was a ski instructor in the United States, and so it was really a accomplishment to be able to ski right away. So that was the first para-cycle races in Switzerland. They needed one person last in the team, so they contacted me 24 hours. And then one practice run. That was the first one. The second run, that was the first para world championship, and actually I won the trophy.
Bei 59,4 Stundenkilometern.
That's 19 miles per hour. So I never done that before, and that's a new opportunity. So Hondo shuts down, I opens up, so I will Hondo and participate for the Scouting Race team this year. So the next Scouting Race will be in Utah.
Gunter Sachs Corner, ein genauer Zielkurs mit 1,162 Stundenkilometern. Halbzeit Noller in Ziel.
Thousands of people will hike the Appalachian Trail this summer, including one woman hoping to break a record. NikiRellon wants to become the first woman with a prosthetic leg to finish the trail. Ananda Rachita has her story.
thousands of people hike the entire Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. It's an amazing accomplishment, especially for NikiRellon, who is doing it on a prosthetic leg.
It's tough, of course. Every step actually after 8 months starts really hurting bad. And so you have to be headstrong.
Rellon already hiked more than 700 miles of the trail. She walks 10 to 15 miles a day, carrying 30 pounds of gear on her back.
This is called the tamarack.
It's hard to believe she lost her leg less than a year and a half ago during a rappelling accident.
Over 60 feet, I heard like this funny click noise. I came off harness and I was free falling off over 40 feet. So I landed first with my left leg, got completely shattered. With that impact, I shattered also my pelvic, broke all my ribs, broke my spine.
A few months later, she was equipped with a prosthetic leg and started training to hike the Appalachian Trail. As a former triathlete, she believes it's something she had to do.
On the Appalachian Trail, be on the trail, you're sleeping in a shelter, you're sleeping in a campground, you have to get up the next morning and have to keep going again, so there's no excuse.
Rellon is hiking the 2,200 miles on her own, but has met some friends along the way, including Abby Love.
She was on my mind all day yesterday because we were both hiking the same section, and every time I saw a hill in front of me, I was like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it.
Rellon is hoping to inspire others, showing a life-changing accident doesn't have to change who you are.
That was Ananda Rachida reporting. Rellon expects to finish in October and plans on being an adaptive ski instructor.
So it happened on the trail when you're having a new prosthetic leg, you get a lot of friction on your skin.
Seen that first video.
Yes.
There was like these 3 gaps, you could
Yes.
see it, right?
I think also the difference is you lost part of your leg because of a trauma as opposed to losing part of your leg because of a vascular problem like kidney disease or diabetes or something like that, where the vessels are...
Yeah, I'm in Walmart. This is Scott. I call him Scott because he had a Scott bottle on the trail. And we're at Walmart and we're getting right now my prosthetic leg fixed again because it was creating a vacuum. After I called up my prosthetic leg builder, he told us we put it together in the wrong order. So now we got matching that anyway. So we got the magic bus into Walmart, got a Phillips screwdriver. This is my prostheticist, Uranus. So here we making with the new liner from Willowwood, like a cast. So we're rubbing around some foil. And that's in a new kind of a liner. Can you tell me a little bit about that liner?
Well, they're describing that it keeps you cool and behaves similar to the urethane material. It's supposed to be
and this is Jamie.
This is a way how to figure out that you get the right length between your prosthetic and your good leg.
Each spring, the Appalachian Trail attracts a few thousand individuals wanting to complete its entire 2,100-mile length.
To do a trail like this and see all the eastern coast of America is very special.
Much of the trail looks like this, a narrow footpath through trees and wilderness. In the town of Damascus, Virginia, though, this is the trail.
It gives us an identity worldwide.
This is one of only a handful of spots where the trail follows the town's main street. Damascus celebrates that fact with its annual Trail Days.
We have 814 people, and before this weekend is over, we'll have over 30,000 people in this town.
The guests of honor are the hikers in the process of walking from Georgia to Maine.
Look at me! My queen of 2015!
Damascus lies about 450 miles from the northbound hiker's starting point.
Wherever we are, we try to shuttle here, and then we return to our place of origin and continue the hike from there.
Trail Days allows current through hikers to reconnect with others they've met along the way.
People you haven't seen in a month or weeks, you all see them together and there's hugs all around.
At the Hikers Parade, though, it's apparent that not everyone is making the journey this year. Many Appalachian Trail alums gathered here in the festival in Damascus.
Here at Trail Days, it's kind of a reunion thing.
For many, hiking the trail is the accomplishment of a lifetime.
It's coming from the experience that they had when they hiked the trail, a feeling that they had when they were looking for something and found it.
Fellow hikers with whom they shared those experiences can become lifelong friends.
Usually it's the only thing you have in common, but you end up such close friends.
You guys having a good hike?
To help people stay in touch, a group is now producing the Hiker Yearbook, complete with names, portraits, trail names, and other info.
When you're a thru hiker, then you're family.
One notable hiker this year is NikiRellon, who is seeking to become the first person, male or female, to complete the distance on a prosthetic leg.
I had no idea that would be the first because there's a bunch of very good athletes with prosthetic legs out there.
Also in attendance recently at Trail Days was the widow of Bill Irwin. His journey to become the first blind person to complete the trail is chronicled in the book, Blind Courage.
It's exciting to know that his life will still continue to touch people's lives.
Mostly though, Trail Days for current thru hikers is about fun and relaxing a bit before getting back to the grind.
This big gathering of people is really nice. It's a lot of energy, a lot of people and everything like that.
It's a bunch of people in one area with a common interest.
There are as many reasons for tackling the Appalachian Trail as there are individuals on the move. For many, it's a chance to test their mettle.
I heard about like the Appalachian Trail and it seemed like a challenge I wanted to try.
While attempting a thru hike is certainly challenging, it is a chance to simplify the daily routine.
That's what you do for about 8 or 10 hours a day, is actually hike.
This is a break, but also a disruption.
I'm already antsy. Ready to get back out there.
Yeah, on the trail in the southern part of northern Georgia, there's actually wild ponies. You can discover if you hike the trail. They're really curious about licking your hands and your feet because it's salty. The temperature is quite hot in the snow last night, salty. Like the waves. Caves and islands in this area. Hey everyone, can you hear me? Pretty good? Behind? Back row? Already, so I press start here. The computer already starts automatically. Oh, here we go. Alrighty, so as you know, my name is NikiRellon. I will be the first female hiker this year on a prosthetic leg who hikes the entire Appalachian Trail. So the starting point is Georgia and goes all the way up to Maine. There's a couple of my sponsors who support me during the last 7 months. I'm already 7 months on the trail and I had a couple of setbacks, so I had infections. The next slide. That's my card. Got supported by Adidas. It's a German company, we say Adidas, but in the United States we say Adidas. I became citizen in 2010, so I have dual citizenship. I have the German passport and the American passport. That's the front card. I'm the bionic woman. That means people on the trail give each other trail names. So a friend of mine told me I'm the bionic, so I stick to it. That's some of my resumes, what I did so far in my life, so you can just read over. So I trained chef back in Germany, worked in Switzerland in a chalet requirement. We had to be a downhill skier. End of the shift, we had to ski like from 3,000 meters all the way down to the valley. EMT basic, paramedic, and all kinds of good stuff. Sports, became an amateur kickboxer world champion, 1997 or 1998 in Copenhagen. Also became a professional boxer, was fighting for the world championships in Köln. Didn't last the fight, but I was reaching out for Max and I was done with my career. That's some of my cycle trips. I cycled over the last 20 years. In 2002, when I came the first time to North America, I was standing in British Columbia, Vancouver Island, Vancouver, and I bicycled all the way up to the Inside Passage, Prince Rupert, and then all the way to Alberta. Something wrong? Yeah, here we go. All the way from Alaska down to Mexico City, cross country, and both coastlines up and down. So that was the first time I was in North America, and the bicycle trip was altogether for 2 years. So this is the way how it looks on a map. The Appalachian Trail starts in Georgia and it goes all the way up to Maine, Katahdin. So what I did here, the red flag, I did aqua blazing. Aqua blazing means you jump in a kayak and you start paddling the Shenandoah River. That is from Virginia all the way up to West Virginia. It's over 200 miles. A couple pictures about my true hike in 2006 from Mexico all the way to Canada. It's called the Pacific Crest Trail. It's called the John Muir Trail. It's the Sierras, the most scenic section of the Pacific Crest Trail. It's 2,600 miles long. So November 1st, 2013, I had a rappel accident. I did canyoneering. Canyoneering is not going like rock climbing up, it's going down. So you're going through potholes, swimming from neoprene across and rappelling down cliffs. And had a brand new harness and there was a different system. And I didn't double check, so I was locked in the wrong loop and I came off harness after 100 feet rappel. The last 45, 50 feet I came off harness, and that's what happened when I got an impact. Broken pelvic, you can read all the good stuff. Also intensive care, got blood transfusion, got intubated, pretty much for over 6 weeks, intensive care. That's what it looks like after you fall 45 feet. Yeah, I tried first to try to save my leg with a fixator, but as soon as I saw the X-ray, I gave up on that idea to save my leg. As you can see, it looks pretty wild. So there was definitely no hope to save that leg at all. That was after surgery. So that's me naked, it's all screwed up. That's called external fixator. I had that over 6 months. It took a long time to heal my pelvic back together. That's spine fracture what I had, a chance fracture in my thoracic spine. Fresh air outside of the hospital. Lost all my leg strength, so I had to rebuild 100% my leg strength again. So I was first in a wheelchair, a walker, then a cane. And then I started hiking. I had around about 40% leg strength. So now after hiking 7 months on the trail, I'm around about over 65% leg strength. First day in the hospital, that's exciting. Rock climbing indoors right after the accident. There was the first newspaper article when I started hiking. I thought toughness personified. My gear is all Cuban fiber, every ounce counts. So lighter your gear is, it's easier it is on your body. So Cuban fiber tent and backpack. Mikola Falls, that's the approach trail. There's like a beautiful hotel. When you watch the movie Hike in the Woods with Bill Bryson, it's got a hotel. Got introduced in the movie too. And some previous hikers, he was one of the first true hiker in the 40s who hiked all the way through. This is called lean-tos, shelters. I think not too far from here there's a shelter also. That's where we meet up again, having parties and a good time. That's what you see when you're starting hiking out. You have still another 1,972 miles to go. Bunch of women I met on the trail. It's every year more and more women power on the trail. So 5-10 years ago it was definitely less, but now it's pretty much 50-50 female, male. Showing off my leg. And that's what we do on the trail. 300 miles per hike so far, and then 400. And then that's what you saw in the video. I got an infection. That's what happened with my prosthetic leg. I had a pin lock system, and with the pin lock system I had way too much friction going on. So I had to find my sponsor who helped me to getting an air suction system. That's what happens when you get an infection. It swells up and I couldn't fit anymore in, and I crutches for over 10 days. A couple setbacks. Cellulitis was another infection, so another 10 days off the trail, antibiotics. The wild animals I saw on the trail was turtles. salamanders and snakes. I didn't saw in Maine, New Hampshire, no moose and no bears. I was really disappointed. But then in the Pacific Crest Trail, I did saw a couple of black bears and brown bears. Yeah, it's a garden snake, so they are nice. Actually, on the Pacific Crest Trail, I almost killed a snake for dinner, but then I said it was too cute. Other creatures on the trail. Here we go, that was my first 700-mile marker. Mahokik Notch, that's a famous picture-taking spot. Trail days, you saw that video. Guys dress up like women, that's exciting. I don't have to dress up, I had already prosthetic leg. So that was aqua blazing, so I got myself on Kmart a kayak, and a friend I met on the trail. He was living in that area, I had a car, so we got the kayaks on top of the roof and on our way to the Shenandoah River and started paddling. My camera fell in the water, so I don't have any pictures on the river by itself, but you know, that was the starting point. Here we go. After I did aqua blazing, I got myself in a rental car job all the way up to Maine, and so I did approach from north going south because I'm a southbounder now. And I was going straight on the trail. I was going on the left. I was making a left turn, so I didn't look at my map very carefully. So I ended on a different peak, pretty much the same as elevation. I was Palmer Peak. It was a beautiful sunshine day. The next day, I still want to make Katahdin happen. All of a sudden, the weather changed from sunshine 90s into minus freezing temperature. Wind chill factor was in the 20s, and the wind was around about 80 miles per hour. So right and left was really severe steep cliffs, and I got blown over by the wind 3 times. I always give myself 3 chances 3 times, and after the 3rd time I got blown over, I said, okay, that's it. Safety precautions, I looked for shelter in the rocks, like a little tiny dirt hole, got my sleeping bag out, and looked at my smartphone. I really hope my smartphone is smart today, because I really hope for reception, and it was 1 bar. And I was able to call search and rescue. They got me like 3 hours later. Started getting really hypothermia, stage 1, got frostnip in my fingertips, took over 2 months before the century came back, and the descent took then from 4 o'clock all the way to 1 o'clock in the morning. Katahdin, I never want to forget Katahdin. It's a woman, it's a beast. So New Hampshire and Maine is pretty much the toughest section on the trail, so it's really steep terrain. That's one of the warning signs when you're hiking with a 100-mile wilderness. Make sure you have enough food supply for 10 days. One extreme to another extreme, already over 7 months on the trail. This fellow, Scott Jurek, he did it in 46 days. He was of course supported, but running and no backpack, so I'm carrying on about over 30 pounds. And for safety precautions, there's a guy with a kite who brings you safe over the river. And a Santa Claus. Guys letting their beards grow, so that looked really interesting. And little creatures are trying to eat your food at the shelters. One-legged woman, one-legged dog. Here we go, we all teamed up. Another report in a newspaper. People fall. Mahosik trail was like for 1 mile, it takes about 3 hours. You really have like really challenging terrain. You're doing like canyoneering. You know, it seems that you have to go down and then up again. Really steep stuff. This is the White Mountains. Washington Mountain is like the highest recorded wind speeds. They have like huts and like 2 hikers stay for a couple hours work. They feed you and it's really sweet. It's a great deal. Yeah, the White Mountains, there's like several different huts, altogether 8, and it's really nice if they let you stay, especially in the cold weather. Hanover, that's in New Hampshire. The trail was right to that town, and I had the opportunity to watch with a bunch of other hikers the movie A Walk in the Woods. And that was my destination a couple of days ago when Mrs. Grace picked me up, kidnapped me to get me down here to you guys. Hope you enjoyed.
kidnapper has returned. Okay, questions. Anyone? I had a great suggestion from Ms. Florio that I give you index cards and you write your questions on a piece of paper and all that. And yeah, I ran out of time. So please, if you have a question for any of these three ladies, stand up, speak nice and loud. Let's hear it. Anybody, what do you want to know? One of the things that I think is pretty cool, you might not have noticed, is that all three ladies are left leg amputees. That's just, what'd you say?
It makes driving easier.
Makes driving easier. Yeah, when I first met Miss Satchel, because you guys know I just got here in August, and I had been speaking to her on the phone, and the first day I saw her, she had told me about her accident while we were talking on the phone, so I expected to see this woman wheeling around in a wheelchair. She pulled up in an SUV. I was like, okay, gotcha. Awesome. Questions? Anybody? No questions?
Question. You know how many calories you burn a day? And what do you eat?
I'm already over 40 years old, so that means my metabolism shuts down. Teenage kids who are hiking the trail, they're burning way more. So one guy, he carries so much food that his backpack is like 10 pounds heavier for a food supply for 7 days. That is crazy. Yeah, I mean, I don't burn too much because I cannot make 20-mile days. I make one about average right now. In the beginning, only 7 miles. That's the reason I called myself the Trail Snail, my own trail name, because I was so slow. So right now, after 7 months, I'm being able to average between 10 and 12 miles right now. 15, it's max. Yeah. One day I did 20, but that was called slack packing. So it's like trail angels, people who are helping, supporting you on the trail. You can leave your gear, your backpack, and you get picked up after 20 miles. And that's what you can do when you're not having a 30-pound backpack sitting on your back. Maybe you want to know a little bit about prosthetic leg. So this system that I have here, this is an air vacuum system. She has a pin lock system. The pin lock system is what I had in the beginning. And with the pin lock system, it's like a little bit of space in between. So every step I was doing it was creating friction in. And the scar tissue, like the first 2 years, it takes a long time to make your skin really toughen up. So I got a huge infection and my limbs swelled pretty bad up. Saw that in the picture. And that's the reason I got the vacuum air suction system. It stays really solid and it stays in one spot.
So with the pin lock, it's like, you can laugh at this joke. We were at dinner, I think it was like my birthday, and I was showing my brother and sister. My brother is a junior and my sister's a freshman in high school. And I was showing them my leg, and they were like, what's the Pirates of the Caribbean, what's the guy? Yeah, he was like, no, the captain. Captain Hook, yeah. He was like, you're Captain Hook, so like, that's my favorite name now. So like, if my brother comes to campus and call like, Captain Hook, he's talking to me. Okay, so there's a hole, and literally when I put my leg in it, you'll hear snaps. So, putting her on, like you'll hear snaps, so it just like locks in every time. So that's what situation is.
I can show off too. You have an opportunity to get different creative art stuff on your prosthetic leg. I got grateful dead. I always telling people that I had an accident 45 feet, I don't like to survive. And I always tell people the devil was too afraid of me. So I got prepared first to get me down under. Come on guys, you're so shy. No questions? No questions? Here's a question.
So how is it determined whether one gets a pin lock or a vacuum system?
Well, it's human personal decision. I mean, the pin lock is definitely sorry my language, but this 2-line was creates a lot of material in the back part of your knee. So that means bending is way more difficult, like walking upstairs. So that's the downside of that, but it's good when you're walking like long distances, that stays solid, especially with skin.
So the goal for me is, so the good thing is that like a runner's foot for prosthetic, for amputee, like that seat, you always see runners a lot on commercials. The people I work with, Hanger Clinic, one of the VPs came and offered to pay for that. That's awesome. It's about $12K to $15K for just the foot and not the actual suction. So when I start running, I might switch to the vacuum just for stability and all of that. So the goal is next year, soccer season, for me to be running with the girls. That's the goal. And the cool thing about being an amputee now that I'm finding, it's a great life, but I have to adjust to my new normal. I think we were talking about that. You know, our entire lives were kind of turned upside down. Everything we do normal. I was trying to like reach for something the other day, and I was like trying to go on my tippy toes, but the way my leg is set up, it's funny. So that's just one difference for me.
Do you want to share?
Oh, there's a question back.
Oh, project.
I know you said you had a lot of infections. So what motivates you to like keep going with all those infections?
Well, this is always in life. I mean, what you're not killed makes you stronger, right? I mean, you have to toughen up. I mean, if you feel sorry for yourself, it's not helping you. It's getting worse. And so after I was back in Germany for my rehabilitation, I was able to rebuild 40% of my leg strength. I got so sick and tired of the daily routine. I was going back to my old swim team, went to the gym, and I was every day starting that routine. And it was really hard to get me motivated to doing it all and over again and again to rebuild 100% leg strength again. And I want to be a ski patrol again. I want to run for ski patrol again. I want to do all the good stuff that I did before and not giving up and going back to school and learning a desk job. So I said to myself, let's do something for it, because on the trail there's no excuse. Every morning you wake up on the trail, and you have to keep moving. When you wake up at home, well, you can stay, oh, let's go for a workout tomorrow. No one's make up excuses, right? On the trail, no excuse.
I know that, you know, it's really hard to just have one leg. Well, not she got two, but, you know, it's really hard to just like adjust to new life like that. And I think that nothing in life is guaranteed. So what's something that you can give us as an audience, as a piece of advice to move forward?
So a piece of advice for motivation. Well, never give up in life. I mean, there was always one door shuts down, another door opens up, and there's new opportunities for me right now. Right now, I'm in a para-skeleton race team. Also have a shot to join the snowboard team in Colorado, and maybe going for Paralympics. Maybe I'm going to become a motivational speaker and motivate a bunch of people. So maybe that's another idea, writing a book about my Appalachian Trail experience and about my other sports I did in the past, or walk to recovery, maybe in the future, maybe even watch out. So I mean, never give up in life. I've always, new doors open up and new opportunities. There's so many things to do, as you saw in my resume. I did all kinds of different stuff already in the past. And so now I have a new challenge. So I see it in a positive way. It's a new challenge. And I love challenge. I love an athlete. Here we go.
I lost my leg when I was 5.
You just said. Insha, who is our veteran up on the stage, even though she's the student, she said she lost her leg when she was 5. And so she didn't have to get used to anything because she started, that has been her normal growing up. And that's why you see her. I remember my first time when the apples were ripe, and Insha and her posse were over behind Godman climbing the tree to shake the apples out. And I was so new, I didn't know if that was legit. Like, should they, any of them, able-bodied or Incha with her one leg, should they be climbing that tree? Everyone's like, yeah, no, that's what we do here. And I was like, okay, cool. And so Incha was right up there climbing the tree, and I've heard her story about her climbing during freshman orientation and things like. She won't let you help her. I mean, if any of you have dealt with Incha, you know she's good. She's got it all figured out. Not all of it figured out, but she's very independent.
One thing that I would answer your question, Lucindy, in terms of not everything doesn't change, but relationships change in the way that I don't mind dating if I get help. One, because this is so new, and I don't mind the questions. So if you don't want to ask now, but if you want to ask me anything, like anything personal, please do. Because one of the hardest things that I dealt with, and the reason it took me so long to make a decision, because I had to make a decision either to keep my leg or not to keep my leg. If I would have kept my leg, I would have 2 external braces, like rings. Oh, the first brace is rings that would have pins going into my leg, and then the second one would be just like sheer metal to go down to my heel and up to my toes, and I would have a significant limp. So who would have thought to make that I would have, at 23 years old, I would have to make a decision that would affect my life, my family's life, my friends who have to explain to their other friends why I'm taking so long going up the stairs when I have pants on, but I'm a Division I athlete. Like, it takes a lot. But I did have to make that decision, and the reason why I did the tree is I was on Bears Den Road. Truck was coming my way. It snowed 2 days before, and I pulled over just a little bit to not be right on top of each other. And on the right side, my tires snowed and ice got in. So when I got back central to the lane, I lost control of the car, and I hit a tree. And who would have thought? Great driver, never had an accident, just bought new tires. All these things are going against you, and the one thing you can do is stay positive. One thing that worked for me is that I was a champion. I was going to overcome these sick days for 3 days after every surgery. So I had 8 surgeries. I could not eat. It was applesauce and carrots. But like, who teaches you how to be resilient? It's just your mental toughness, and I think all of us have great attitudes. So that has been the one thing for me. So to answer your question in a very long way,
That's awesome. Okay, it's time to go back to class. Thank you so much for your time. If you'll give our participants a round of applause. Returning Ms. Rellon back to the trail. I have to drive her back to Kent, Connecticut, where I picked her up off the trail, where I kidnapped her. And so I hope you have a great day, 6th form, and that